Curious about launching your own manufacturing operation right in your backyard and without draining your wallet? In today's video, I'll reveal 33 cutting-edge machines from China, tell you exactly what they cost, and even give you direct links to the suppliers. Why China, you ask? Simple. It combines affordable labor with state-of-the-art tech. Just look at industry giants like Apple, Tesla, and Samsung, who've already set up productions there. Ready to dive in? Let's get started. Nails are the foundation of any construction, furniture production, packaging, and even small workshops. Now imagine that you can make money by producing them without owning a large factory. This machine is fully automated. You load a steel wire, and the machine cuts it, forms the head, and sharpens the tip. Now to the numbers. The cost of one nail is less than 1 cent. It sells for 5–10 cents, depending on the size and packaging. Advantages of this business: minimal investment compared to the production of other building materials. High production speed, thousands of nails per hour. Compactness, can be operated even in a backyard. The market is huge: wholesalers, stores, online sales. Now let's look at how polyurethane pouring equipment can be used to create decorative panels, which are becoming increasingly popular in modern interior design. Decorative panels are interior elements that combine aesthetics and functionality. They are used for wall finishing, creating a cozy atmosphere, and improving room sound insulation. Polyurethane foam is lightweight, making panel installation easier. The fluidity of the material allows the creation of diverse designs and textures. Every year, millions of shovels, rakes, hoes, and other tools are sold in stores, and almost all of them have one common feature: a wooden handle. A machine can create perfectly straight and smooth handles, but the quality of the wood determines whether they will actually be durable. Therefore, if you are building a business around this equipment, it's essential to consider not only the technology, but also the materials used. When we think about brick manufacturing, we imagine a massive factory, dozens of workers, smoking kilns, and huge warehouses. But now, one compact machine can replace an entire production workshop. These brick-making machines use a vibropressing technique, allowing bricks and blocks to be created without firing, significantly reducing costs. This means lower energy expenses, fewer workers, and the ability to set up production in a small space. Despite their simplified process, bricks made with this technology are as strong as traditional ones and suitable for residential construction. At first glance, metal scrubbers seem like a cheap and mass-market product that can be produced and sold effortlessly. But those who have tried this business know there are nuances rarely discussed. The first myth: it's very simple. Yes, the machine does most of the work, but if you choose the wrong raw materials, the scrubbers will be either too rough and scratch surfaces or too soft and tear easily. The second myth: it's a super cheap business. The cost is indeed low, but real profits depend not only on production, but also on packaging and marketing. The third myth: selling is easy. Scrubbers are needed everywhere, but competition is high, and large stores and chains work only with trusted suppliers. Therefore, the best strategy for small businesses is selling wholesale to small stores, markets, hardware shops, or through online stores. Regular animal feed is just a mix of different ingredients: grain, corn, vitamins, proteins. At first glance, nothing complicated, but if you look at the market, feed prices are not as low as one might think, especially when buying in large volumes. A feed production machine turns raw materials into pellets, the most convenient format for storage and feeding animals. This machine can be used for personal farm production or for selling feed to others. Moreover, finding a niche. For example, gluten-free organic feed for poultry or specialized blends for pedigree animals can help stand out among competitors and achieve higher profit margins. Wooden pallets are not a product people notice every day, but logistics, warehousing, transportation, and construction would be impossible without them. A pallet production machine simplifies the assembly process. Blanks are cut to the required dimensions, fixed with fasteners, and the output is a sturdy wooden pallet ready for use. This setup is ideal for small businesses because it does not require huge spaces or investments. The average price of a new pallet ranges from $10 to $50, while the cost of production is significantly lower. A wire fence production machine takes ordinary steel wire and turns it into mesh with the required thickness, shape, and cell size. The manufacturing process is simple. The operator loads a spool of wire, and the machine automatically cuts, bends, and interweaves the material. The price of the finished product is significantly higher than the cost of raw materials. And if you offer additional options such as anti-corrosion coating or galvanized wire, you can increase the product price and enter the premium segment. In the construction industry, steel rebar is standard, but it has serious drawbacks. It is heavy, prone to corrosion, expensive to transport, and can increase heat loss in buildings. That's why fiberglass rebar is becoming a new trend in construction. It is 5 times lighter than steel, doesn't rust, doesn't conduct electricity, and withstands extreme loads. From a business perspective, fiberglass rebar reduces logistics costs since it can be delivered in coils. The trend of replacing steel in construction has already begun, and composite materials are taking up an increasing share of the market. The question is, who will be the first to see this business opportunity? Wood is always in trend. It is used in construction, furniture making, and decor. But there's one problem. Raw wood is often warped, uneven, and varies in thickness. Now imagine a business that solves this problem, a custom wood processing workshop. The idea is simple. You provide a planing service, clients bring in raw planks and beams, you process them into perfectly smooth, usable materials. You make money by charging per cubic meter of wood. Processing costs start at $10 to $15, and up to 10 cubic meters can be processed per day, bringing in from $100 to $150. This is highly profitable. To start, you need a planer machine and a 1020 square meters workshop. Private craftsmen don't have expensive equipment, so they will come to you. Moreover, you won't have waste. All shavings can be sold or reused. Many people think that manufacturing wire hangers is too simple to be a serious business. They assume there's no money in such a basic product. But in reality, the opposite is true. Millions of hangers are used every day in dry cleaners, laundries, hotels, and clothing stores. Buying wire in bulk can reduce costs to just a few cents per hanger, while selling them at a 300–500% markup. So the hanger business is not about cheap goods. It's about high volume, consistent demand. How does 3D printing on fabric work? This process is different from standard t-shirt prints. Instead of a regular image, a special film or puff ink is used, which expands when heated, creating a raised 3D shape. And most importantly, this isn't done in a factory but with accessible equipment, a heat press. The process works like this. The design is prepared. The image is created with a 3D effect in mind. It is printed onto special film using a heat transfer material. The image is applied to the fabric with a heat press. Under pressure and high temperature, the film adheres. Final processing. As it cools, the material expands, creating a raised 3D effect. Automated or smart beehives are equipped with various sensors and technologies that monitor the condition of bee colonies in real time. This allows beekeepers to react quickly to changes and maintain the health of their hives. These hives include temperature and humidity sensors, acoustic sensors, weight sensors to track the hive's mass, and gas sensors to measure CO2 levels and other air quality indicators. The use of smart hives increases honey production, reduces colony losses, and improves overall beekeeping efficiency, taking the business to a new level. These thin, almost weightless sheets retain up to 90% of body heat, block wind and moisture, and protect people from hypothermia. They are used by rescue services, tourists, military personnel, marathon runners, and even astronauts. But what's even more interesting is that producing them is a profitable business because demand for these blankets is constant, and competition in this niche is low. At first glance, it looks like just a piece of foil, but in reality, it is a multi-layered material created using specialized equipment. First, polyethylene terephthalate is used the same material found in durable plastic bottles. It is melted and extruded into a thin, flexible, and strong film. A vacuum aluminum coating is then applied, giving the film its characteristic shine and, most importantly, its heat-reflecting properties. The result is a perfect survival tool that takes up less space than a smartphone, but can genuinely save lives. When people want privacy but don't want to build massive concrete walls, they look for an attractive, lightweight, and natural-looking solution. Green fences with artificial grass. How does this machine work? Special wire, already covered with artificial grass fibers, is fed into the system. The mechanism then weaves the fibers together, creating a strong yet flexible mesh. The market demand is huge, which is the main advantage of this business. Private homes, cafes, construction companies, and sports facilities all need these fences. Such fences are more expensive than standard chain link fencing, but cheaper than living hedges. The roof is an essential element of any building, and the demand for roofing materials is consistently high. The roofing material production machine works simply. A metal sheet is fed into the system, passes through rollers that shape the profile, and comes out as a finished product. Speaking of profitability, the investment in such a machine can pay off in just a few months. Metal sheets are relatively inexpensive raw materials, and the finished product is sold with a good markup. Another advantage is the ability to work with both large contractors and private clients. Wholesale sales to construction companies provide stable volume, while retail customers are willing to pay more for custom orders and unique color solutions. When it comes to the medical business, many immediately think it's complicated, requires licenses, inspections, and a ton of paperwork. But what if I told you there are medical products that even small businesses can manufacture? One such product is medical bandages. The demand for bandages is enormous, and most importantly, they are constantly used and repurchased. This machine takes gauze threads, automatically knits them, rolls them into bandages, and seals the packaging. There are two ways to enter this market: working through wholesalers or selling directly. The first option involves contracts with pharmacy chains and medical institutions. The second involves selling through marketplaces or B2B clients. Just a few years ago, single-use plastic cups and containers were everywhere at parties, in cafes, in offices. But things are changing. More and more companies and consumers are switching from plastic to more eco-friendly alternatives like aluminum food containers. Why aluminum? First, it can be recycled endlessly. Second, it has a more premium look and feel, and it's safe to heat unlike plastic, which can release harmful chemicals. But here's the best part. The production process is fast. Stamping and forming take just a few seconds. This machine allows the production of gloves made from plastic materials. A plastic film is loaded into the machine, which cuts the glove shape and seals the edges for strength. The finished gloves are then automatically stacked and packed. In the world of construction and interior design, natural marble has always been valued for its elegance and durability. However, its high cost, complex processing, and heavy weight make it inaccessible for many projects. PVC marble sheets offer an alternative. These panels, made of polyvinyl chloride, imitate the texture of marble. They are lightweight, moisture and chemical resistant, easy to install, and low maintenance. Because of these characteristics, they are becoming a popular choice for wall, ceiling, and surface cladding in residential and commercial spaces. Many people think that to make money on bags, all you need to do is buy a machine and start production. Mistake number 1. Making generic bags without choosing a niche. This machine produces die-cut handle bags, which are used not in supermarkets but in retail stores, pharmacies, boutiques, and delivery services. Mistake number 2. Not factoring in packaging and logistics costs. Producing 5,000 bags per hour is easy, but where will you sell them? Many beginners forget that storage, packaging, and delivery also require time and investment. Mistake number 3. Ignoring branding. Companies don't just want plain white bags, they want branded packaging with logos. Adding printing or offering colored films immediately increases the price and makes the product more competitive. Dog owners are willing to spend hundreds of dollars a year on food and treats for their pets. But here's what's important. Not all treats are equally profitable. Selling regular dry food, which people buy in bulk once a month, is one thing. Selling chew treats, which are considered a premium product, is a completely different business. Suppose we produce 1 kilogram of regular dry food. Allocating the costs of ingredients, production costs, and packaging comes out to a total of $2, when with treats, $3.3. But the main difference is that the treats are sold not by weight, but in small packages of several pieces. When recalculated by weight, the price ranges from $8 to $12. The net profit is up to $9, which is 3 to 4 times more than dry food. Now let's look at knitted gloves, which are an alternative to disposable plastic gloves. The production process is fully automated. The The raw material is loaded. It can be cotton, polyester, wool, or a blend. The machine forms the glove. The seamless knitting process makes the product durable and comfortable. It turns out that plastic gloves sell in enormous volumes, but with low margins, while knitted gloves sell at a higher price but in smaller quantities. The problem with regular knitted gloves is that they slip. That's why silicone coating is applied to gloves. It creates additional grip and increases the product's durability. But this same machine can be used not only for gloves, but also for many other products. Non-slip socks are popular among children. Sports gloves improve grip, ensuring a firm hold on pull-up bars or kettlebells. This machine expands the business, allowing different products for different markets instead of being limited to work gloves. Magnets are one of the most popular souvenirs. They are bought by tourists, companies for corporate gifts, and for marketing purposes. But most importantly, making magnets doesn't require a big investment, and the profit margins are very high. You set up a manual magnet press, simple and affordable equipment that fits on a desk. Clients send you images. These can be tourist landmarks, corporate logos, family photos, memes, or trending designs. You print the image, cut it, and press it onto a magnet. The whole process takes just 1-2 minutes. You buy a beautiful carpet, but after a few years, its edges start fraying and the fabric looks worn. What do most people do? Throw it away or just live with it. But there's another option. Instead of replacing the carpet, you can reinforce its edges and extend its lifespan for years. And this is where a business opportunity arises. Professional carpet edge finishing with a portable machine. It takes an old carpet, secures the edge with strong thread, and prevents further unraveling. You can do a neat finish in the same color as the fabric or add a decorative border. The whole process takes only 10-15 minutes. The customer is happy, and you've made money. Flexible PVC hoses are an essential product for gardeners, builders, and municipal services. Their production requires an extruder that melts granulated PVC into a plastic mass and forms it into a tube of the desired diameter. After exiting the extruder, the hose passes through a cooling tank where it quickly hardens, maintaining its shape. The next key step is applying a reinforcing braid. A braiding machine wraps the tube with strong synthetic threads. Then the hose goes through a second extruder, which applies the outer protective PVC layer. This process allows the production of garden, technical, and industrial hoses. And machine modifications can create different diameters, wall thicknesses, and reinforcement options. Tape is one of the most in-demand consumables. What is needed to start? The machine, the first purchase of BOPP film, glue, and cardboard cores. Operator wages and additional costs for logistics and packaging. This means minimum investments of about $25,000. A standard roll of tape costs around 22-25 cents to produce. The wholesale price is 40-60 cents per roll. Net profit is 18.35 cents. Return on investment is only 2-4 months, with revenues reaching $50,000 to $75,000. But there are pitfalls. Competition. In the low-price segment, you'll have to compete with large Chinese factories. Marketing and sales. The best strategy is not just making regular tape, but offering branded tape with company logos. This machine automatically winds thread onto spools. It features multiple spindles that allow simultaneous operation with multiple threads, adjusting tension and winding speed. The operator sets the parameters, starts the process, and within minutes, perfectly even, tightly wound spools are ready. Textile production isn't just about fabric, it's also about preparing threads correctly. Metal profile manufacturing for frame construction is done using an automatic roll forming machine. It takes thin sheet steel, passes it through a system of rollers, and shapes it into the required profile while simultaneously cutting parts to the desired length. The process is fully automated. The operator sets the parameters, loads the steel coil, and the machine does all the work. Triplex is a multi-layered glass that doesn't shatter upon impact but stays intact. That's why car windshields remain whole during crashes, and skyscraper facades withstand hurricanes and strong impacts. In 2023, the global laminated glass market was valued at over $20 billion and continues to grow. The key is securing contracts with automakers, construction companies, and glazing workshops. Certification is required to sell these products, but that increases client trust. When it comes to lightweight and durable construction materials, polycarbonate is usually the first thing that comes to mind. It is used in greenhouses, canopies, facades, and advertising structures. However, it has a serious competitor, FRP fiberglass sheets, which are gradually replacing polycarbonate in certain areas. Where does fiberglass win? It is stronger and can withstand higher loads. It is resistant to UV rays, moisture, and chemicals, making it ideal for factories, warehouses, and marine structures. The raw materials needed include fiberglass mats or threads, polyester resin, curing agents and accelerators, gel coat, dyes, and UV stabilizers. Balloons are a symbol of celebration, but while regular latex balloons deflate within hours, foil balloons hold their shape for several days or even weeks. This makes them more in demand and more profitable, especially in the party industry. Now guess how much manufacturers actually earn? The average wholesale price of these balloons is $1–2 per piece. In stores, the same balloon sells for $5, $7, or even up to $15. Look at the big companies that manufacture simple products like packaging, disposable tableware, and decorations. These businesses don't stand out, but they make millions of dollars. Balloons fall into the same category. No one notices them until they need a bunch of them for a wedding, graduation, or party.